It's going to be funny watching the hotel staff try to move that chair.
That's right. It'll be here forever. Thank you, Abraham. It's wonderful to be here with you. I want to build on something our friend John was talking about. First is, I'm hoping there is peanut butter and Oreos for lunch today. So that sounded really good. But it's the idea of abundance. I'm living a wonderful life, an amazing life. You probably already know that. And I think there's only one person in the world with a more amazing life than me. It's probably Jerry. And so, hi, Jerry. I came into this world as a very physical person, and I've enjoyed that immensely. Done many interesting physical things that, like an acrobat like Jerry did, took me all over the world. Then I fell in love when I was 20, head over heels. I'll be 60 on my next birthday, and she's right back there. We're having more fun, I think, now than just about any time that we've been together. The area which has always generally been a challenge is abundance, and now I'm in the midst of it. I may be the first person to sign up for your seminar, What Do I Do with All My Stuff? It's been amazing.
Talking about it's working so well now, he wants to go to the de-manifestation seminars.
Not only, yeah, I know, there's a temptation, isn't there? So not only are we there, we, meaning partners and I, who we've come together 3 years ago, and they're wonderful brothers. I love them. In our company, we hug each other, men hugging each other, and we call it our secret sauce. It's our love for one another that has propelled us to amazing things.
It's your alignment with Source and using your love for one another as your excuse to hook up to that energy that is the reason for your success.
Yes. And I put it one more way. I always knew I could play on a larger stage. The stage that's being built right now, literally, is in a 100,000-foot facility, and it's 27,000 feet. A 27,000 square foot stage is being built, and we'll start our production work in 10 days.
Yes.
I have now the opportunity to share this abundance, not with tens of people or even hundreds of people, but with thousands of people. And by the way, John, I'll give you a stock tip here in a little bit. And it is through a process that's extremely complicated and complex, legally and through accounting. And I find myself only becoming irritated in one spot. And I say this as a recovering lawyer. It's dealing with lawyers and accountants. They work from fear.
Well, here's the thing.
And then I get so annoyed with them.
But here's the thing. This is a wonderful conversation on the heels of what we just talked about. Because they are employed and trained, hired to get really specific.
Yeah, I'm the one who hired them.
To get really specific about potentially unpleasant things. In other words, that's sort of the nature of what they are to do. So the more removed you can be from the specifics of what they are trained to do, the more likely you are to maintain a vibrational alignment that will keep you in the vortex. And when you, who is at the center of all of this, are in the vortex, then the vortex inspires the behavior of everyone who's connected with you. So we are not for a moment ever suggesting that you move away from the physical world in terms of economics, in terms of lawyering, in terms of accounting, even in terms of medicine. We're not encouraging you to leave it behind and just try to be this spiritual one who is removed from everything that is physical. What we're wanting you to do is to manifest your creation in all of those arenas from inside the vortex. And in order to do that, you got to let the specific people do the specific thing that you've specifically hired them to do, while you do the most important thing, which is to trust and have faith and get into the vortex and know. When we say to you that we have really good answers, it's true, we do. when we say to you that we've talked to all of them and we've known, it's true, we've known all of them. In other words, there isn't anything that anyone's involved in that we don't have keen awareness of what's in the vortex relative to it. So when we look into the vortex and we see the results that you're looking for, and we say to you, all you have to do is find vibrational, which means emotional, which means feeling resonance with it, then your frustration, as you get too involved in the nitty-gritty, because you're not really yet a recovered attorney, you're still...
I haven't chased an ambulance today, though. I'm in recovery.
But still, in other words, your habit is there because it's a habit, and this chair, moving the chair thing has been such a good conversation for us to have because your vibration is where you last left it. So we want to ask you, on the subject of lawyering, your vibration is more specifically where you last left it.
Yes.
And so you want to get it less specifically where you last left it by acknowledging that you could even use your logic to think about situations where you had a sort of instinctual knowing and you followed your instinct rather than your logic, and your instinct paid off. Certainly you had many experiences like that.
Yes.
And in the building of this facility, in the building of this structure, there have been all kinds of things like that where the revenue and the idea and the facilitators did not come from the pile of stuff that you had planned, but instead came out of something that you weren't that clear about. Don't you have a lot of examples of that?
Yes, I would say to everyone who's listening, not only do the cooperative components show up, they do show up beyond your wildest expectation.
They show up not beyond your expectations because you put them there incrementally, but they show up beyond your ability to comprehend the synergism and the collectiveness of the compounding and the gathering of everything that you've been putting there.
Yes.
In other words, because you have no idea how good you are in the creation process. And all that lawyering you did, it was really helpful in the creation of all of that.
Absolutely. Everything I've ever done, which may have frustrated me in the past, has contributed to this success.
So what you want to do, and of course you're much more in the place that you're already there to a large extent, except for, as you pointed out, these pieces of it that are annoying you. And you've just got to catch the piece when it annoys and diffuse the annoyance by going more general. Until sometimes it is as simple as saying and believing, I just got to trust the process.
Right.
I just got to trust the process. I either believe in what I'm asking for or I don't. It really is that simple. I just got to trust the process. I just have to trust the process, because a lot of times the specifics in the moment make it hard to trust the process. So you got to do something about not focusing upon those specifics that challenge your trust. Yes. That's the thing. Anything that challenges your trust. Never ask a question if you think the answer is going to make you challenge your trust. Never ask something that's going to upset you vibrationally. Now, this is not a realism conversation, is it? There are a whole lot of people who would say, I believe in telling it like it is and in facing the facts and facing reality. And we say, we believe in you creating reality. We believe in you creating reality, not facing reality. And we know that if you insist on keeping the faith, in trusting the process, and sometimes you got to be pretty darn general. Now, you've become very specific. You've got lots of stuff that are already manifesting. And it's interesting that the more specific it manifests, the more specific the bugaboos bother you. So that's why you got to just keep going general. You can't pull your sled high enough up the hill to have an eternal slide of ease down because you know too much.